I can't tell if I am live. I think I'm live. I'm gonna go check. Um, I'm a little unprepared today because I was meal prepping. So I think I'm gonna try to go back into YouTube and edit these videos and maybe take off these front parts um, where I'm just talking randomly. Uh, well, let me check here. I don't even have my script up. Like, I'm trying to upload something on my phone. My cat is going crazy back here. Like, it's a whole thing today. My channel, it's showing that I am live. Am I really live? That cat. Well, let me check here. I don't even have my script up. Like, I am going to close that real quick. And I'm just going to make sure that I'm live on Facebook. And no. And I'm trying to bring up my script just so that I can remember all the things I need to say. But seriously, I didn't even write down like any thoughts for today as far as um, what I'm going to talk about. So I apologize. I should have been more prepared. It does look like I am live on Facebook. Um, and I'm just going to really hope that Streamlabs shows me chats today. So let me, no, I don't want you up there. Here we go. I need to make this a little bigger. There we go. All right, so let's check this out. All right. Okay, the thing I wanted to load loaded, so I can not worry about that right this second. Alrighty then. Hi, how are you? My name is Heidi, and if you are new here, I am a work at home handmade business owner at HeidiMine.com, as well as a homeschool mom of teenage girls. I go live here on if you're watching Facebook or YouTube at Tuesdays at 5 p.m. I wasn't looking at the script that time. And I actually do have something to talk about in a minute about the date or the day of the week. So don't lock that one in yet. During the live, I share things going on with my business, homeschooling, and with our personal lives. Be sure to follow on Facebook or subscribe on YouTube to get the notifications when I post videos or when I go live. And feel free to give this video a thumbs up, as this helps other people just like you find the video in search. If you are joining me today, if you are joining me live today, please comment with hashtag live. If you are watching on the replay, please comment with hashtag replay. This does help me know when people are watching and what times. That way, if I do need to change things up a bit for your schedule or mine, then I know to do so. And if you aren't already subscribed, be sure to check the link pinned either in the comments or in the description for the email list. That will also give you updates about my business, whether it's new blog posts, sales, discounts, giveaways, whatever. That is all going through the email subscription. So subscribe there and yeah, and away we go. So normally, and I'm going to look at my computer for just a minute, normally what I talk about is I give home updates, school updates, and business updates. Business updates, real quick, my website is finally not only live, I also have blog posts and I have products finally. Yay! So we will start to see some changes in the background behind me. because I will be working in here more often now. We've got the home stuff pretty much under control. So I'm really excited about that. Right now, I have Valentine's Day shirts, and I will take orders up until January 22nd for Valentine's Day shirts. Turnaround time is approximately 7 to 10 business days. I do try to get things out as quickly as possible. So I am trying to shorten my turnaround time as much as I can, but I do have limited space, so I usually have to order the shirts as they come in, like as the orders come in to me, I order it from my supplier. So that I just have to wait on the turnaround time. But they're pretty quick. So there's that. I will be sewing again very soon, so I'm excited about that. I'll be doing purses and key fobs and all the good stuff. So that's really fun. Um, Home updates. We've been keeping the house clean, so that's good. My kitchen got really clean, so I'm excited about that. I cleaned my stove today, which may not be a big deal to some people, but for me, I'm like, hey, I'm just doing what I'm doing. And I see Sarah Jane checked in. Hi, Sarah Jane. I'm going to email you later because I have to ask you something about the if you're going to, well, yeah, if you're going to the workshop, you'll know what I mean. Um, so, uh, so yeah, we have been doing better about keeping the house more under control, which is going to allow me to have more time in my sewing room. Um, and then homeschool, it's our first official day back with the homeschool. I'm going to leave that up because it gives me a little extra light on my face. Um, so yeah, today was our first official day back. Um, Samantha went to some in-person classes, and I had my parent um, I had my parent conference via Zoom because it's raining in California. If you are not from California, the rain here is fun. I think I'm getting a little lucky right now. We were supposed to have like thunder and lightning. Um, I haven't heard anything, so maybe that's just me. Um, but I don't know. I was kind of hoping for thunder and lightning, but we have had some torrential downpours. There are a lot of businesses along the coast that have suffered. There are a lot of homes and businesses, even in different parts of California, not near the coast, that have suffered with flooding and damage due to flooding. And my heart goes out to them. And if you feel the urge, you can look into any type of um, charity, maybe Red Cross, that will be helping these families out. Um, in my area, we have areas that are flooding, but not. I haven't heard about any businesses that have been damaged. I've heard about a couple of homes. Like today, I heard that another homeschool family had some flooding in their garage. Um, and I don't know if I've talked about it on my social media, but my garage, there's an area right outside the door that goes out to my backyard. And for some reason, it like dips down and it doesn't go downhill. So I get like a kiddie pool back there. So I did have to go to the store. They do free sandbags out here, but you have to bring your own shovel and you have to scoop the sand, shovel the sand yourself into the bag. So they provide the sand and the bags, which is fine. And if you need sandbags, by all means, take up any free options you can get. Um, I didn't want to have to dig sandbags, and I wouldn't know what to do with them afterwards because after this winter, we will probably have 2 to 3 years of little to no rain because that's how California rolls. Um, so what am I going to do with these sandbags? So I found this thing online that they're sandbags and they absorb the water and then it like creates kind of a block. But then when the water's gone, it evaporates and it like flattens out. And I couldn't find the bag ones, but I did find one that makes it reminds me of a like a bowling bumper, like a lane bumper for bowling. So I got that and I put it out there, and I'm thinking about getting a second one, and maybe I can just like funnel the water down. Um, but there's no damage. Like it wasn't actually coming into my garage. Uh, I just was taking preventative measures because I know that it does get floody out there. So that's that. I did have a request from my oldest to no longer do lives on Tuesdays because she has school those days. Most of the time, we do have, when we have our advisor meeting once a month, it's usually on a Tuesday, and then I'm rushing around and doing things. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to move the live to Wednesdays at 5, because originally when I did Tuesday lives, it was Tuesday at 2. Um, I don't think there's a time on the clock that really rhymes with Wednesday. So I'm going to go with Wednesday live at 5, um, because we don't have stuff on Wednesdays. When I originally started doing the lives on Tuesdays, it was early last year or late, was it late 2021, early 2022? I can't remember. Um, I didn't have stuff to do on, I mean, we had homeschooling, we had house stuff, but I didn't have any like appointments or anything on Tuesdays. So it just made sense to do a Tuesday live. Now our schedule has changed and she has requested that I do live on Wednesday because we don't have to leave the house on Wednesdays, and that's good for me. So next week I'm going to try the Wednesday live. We'll see how that goes. Um, and yeah, I think I talked about homeschool, I talked about the house a little bit, I talked about work. Okay. So, what I want to talk to you today about is meal planning and meal prepping. And I didn't bring my book with me. So, I am not the best planner, which probably sounds really funny because I have a business and because I homeschool, and you would think that someone who homeschools and or has their own business, they would be much better at planning. Um, for homeschool, I like curriculum that gives me a schedule, like not necessarily a boxed set, but they say, okay, on these days, during like for this amount of time, you're going to do this particular assignment. Those I can work with because they don't have to lock me into, it has to be Monday between 2 and 4. I can pick my own times, but it's like homeschool for dummies, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if everyone else does it like that, but I like that setup. Um, where I get to pick the curriculum, but then they plot it out for me. They give me the blueprint to follow. Um, so I don't have to like plan a whole lot. I just look up the curriculum that I like, make sure that it has what works for me, and then I buy it. Like that's my homeschool plan. Um, with my business, I have been working on planning because I have never been good at like scheduling. I'm great. And there is a difference between scheduling and planning, believe it or not. Um, because if I already know how long something takes, then I can schedule that into my day. But planning is like a whole different beast that you have to like think about so many more things. So, yeah, meal planning. And I'm just like, well, you just get the recipes and you plan them, right? And that's kind of part of it. But then there's like this whole dimension of I want to take one day and just cook or prep all the things and then be able to freeze them and take them out later because this will help me in the long run. Like today. if I had already had meals prepped, I could have already had them in the slow cooker, the instant pot, the pressure cooker, what have you, and then they'd be done by the time I'm done with my live. But yeah, so that's fine. That's totally cool. That's the plan. Because I feel like I will save more time prepping in the one day and then eating it later. And that's fine. And it's home cooked, so I get to pick what's in it and whatever. Um, but then you have to think about like how much to cook, like what recipes are you going to like and how much are you going to need and are you going to double up and is it a meal that you can actually double up and then freeze or is it something that you really should just like make it and eat it right then? So it was a way more for my brain to handle than than it should have been. So I found this woman that creates the whole thing for you, like the written part of it. And she picks the meals and then she gives you the grocery list and she gives you the recipes and she gives you the option that you can cook them one dish at a time or you can batch cook everything. I think she said it takes about 4 hours. Um, and she might be saying that because she's used to doing it, and maybe I'm going a little slow. I don't know. We'll see when I'm done. Um, because I think I spent about an hour and a half today, uh, and I don't have any meals finished. Like, yeah. So, so, uh, oh, let me put that in. Oh, it wants me to sign in. So what I'll do, because I don't want to have to sign in. I don't know what that'll do to the system in my live and whatever. I will put it in the comments when the live is finished. But the website that I went to when I purchased these were from this crafty house, this crafty home, uh, one or the other. I'm looking up this crafty in my Google Drive because that's where I can find. It's dark because it's loading. This crafty home. Okay, this crafty home. Um, And I can't remember if you can see the list of recipes before you purchase or not, which was that was a thing also. So I purchased these last year. Last year? No, I purchased these in 2021 when I was in Arizona at my grandma's house. Because if you leave me alone with a computer too long and a credit card, bad things happen. So she was having like this crafty house was having a deal where like she had this whole bundle of recipes and you got I'm looking at the ones that I see. Um, you got like a side dish prep thing, which is great because it gives you how long and at what temperature to cook vegetables, and I think it says whether or not you can freeze them, that sort of thing. So I really liked that, and my kids eat a ton of vegetables. But then there was also like a pack of recipes for spring, summer, fall, and winter. And it is 10 recipes for each season, and you double them up. So you get 20 meals which essentially is 5 weeknights for a month. Um, and I thought that's brilliant. Like you repeat meals, but like if you have one set of meals one week and then you switch it to a different set of meals the next week and then you go back to the first set of meals the third week, then it doesn't feel so much like you're eating the same thing over and over again. Because I have seen people do meal prep that way, where they just make like the same meal like 7 times. It's just for like the whole week. And I don't want chicken and rice every single night for dinner. Like I don't want it. So I bought these. It was a good enough deal that I can't remember if I could see the recipes, but either I saw them and I thought they were a good deal or it was a good enough price that I didn't mind not knowing. And for the most part, the recipes are pretty basic. There's a lot of chicken recipes. There are a few that have like roast or hamburger, or I think there was something that had pork in it. Um, and that might have been, I think the pork was in her other product, which is Budget Meal Guide. Um, and that is also a meal planning sort of prepping. Like you can do some of the recipes prepped, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So these seasonal ones. Now, what I did not do, and I know better for next time now, I didn't think a whole lot about grocery shopping. I just thought, I'm going to go to Costco and I'm going to get all this stuff and it's going to be cheap and blah, 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 blah. Um, which may have worked a few years ago, but it doesn't work so well now. So I did go to Costco. I did get meat, um, but that was about it. And I did go to Sam's Club, and I found quite a few canned items that I needed. So that was good, and that worked out to a decent deal. Um, but there was a lot of stuff that Costco and Sam's Club either didn't have, or I didn't need the quantity that they had. So then then I'm out and I'm shopping, and like our main shops around me, I have a Safeway like within walking distance. I have a grocery outlet that's not too far, and I really do like their produce. I've got a Winco that isn't too far. I don't like their produce usually. Um, there's a food something like in the other direction. Like we have a lot of grocery stores. So it's not a lack of grocery stores. It's my lack of planning because I wasn't looking at where I'm going to get the best deal when I went to do this particular shopping. And my grocery outlet does not carry very much for some reason. Um, like they didn't have Hawaiian rolls. There was something else that they didn't have, and I'm like, how can they not have this? Whenever I go there, they never have like crackers. Like I think they have saltines, but they have no other crackers. Um, so that's weird. So like that's what I learned from this experience is that I do think I will do it again, but the shopping part, um, when I do the spring recipes, I will probably start planning my shopping. Um, I don't know. Basically the recipes that I'm doing, we're in January, March, January, February, March. I think that I plotted it out that these recipes that I'm making will actually get us through until the end of March, excuse me, maybe 1 or 2 weeks into April. Um, I think 1 or 2 weeks into April. Basically, like what it works out to when I'm all, because, oh, backtrack a little, Heidi. So there are two winter guides now. She did, this crafty home came out with a second winter guide um, that I don't know, the end of fall of last year. So that's 20 recipes, 40 meals. And then I did get the budget meal guide, which is 4 weeks of recipes. And they're all different, but a few of them you can duplicate. So when all the math is said and done, it was 70 meals. Um, and then you figure, sometimes you're going to eat leftovers or sometimes you're going to go out to eat or whatever. So I'm like, that's 3 months worth of food that I could prep essentially all at once. But that's not what I'm going to do because that's what I thought I was going to do. I thought I was going to go out and buy all these groceries for the 2 full months and then 1 week of the budget meal guide. And in my head, I kept telling myself, you're going to do this. You're going to spend one weekend. You're going to get it all done. It'll be all done, and you're not going to worry about it. Yeah. Until I couldn't find things. I couldn't find lasagna noodles at grocery outlet. lasagna noodles. Like, huh? So, anyways, so I was like, this is not working. Plus, I was basically blowing through my entire grocery budget for the month and then some. And I understand that you can't really buy 3 months worth of food unless you buy 3 months worth of food. But I needed to really think that budget through a little bit more. So I ended up with like, oh, and then I could not find chicken thighs anywhere. Boneless, skinless chicken thighs. The only ones you can find are organic, and they're like double or triple the price of, the other ones that are maybe not so good for you. Um, and I'm like, I'm not going to spend $80 just on chicken thighs. That's just crazy. So that was a whole thing. Like that's part of that whole planning thing. So I decided after stressing myself out that I had the majority of items to make the first winter recipe book. I had the majority of those. There were a couple things here and there that I didn't have, but for the most part I had everything. And I also had almost everything, if not everything, for the 1 week of the budget guide. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do those two for right now. I'm gonna do the 4 week, the 1 month of winter meals, and I'm gonna do 1 week of the budget guide. But then when I had all of the pieces and parts to make everything, I was hit with the biggest unmotivation wave of my life. And all I could think was, I don't have the energy to get up and make these meals, and all of this meat is going to go bad, and I am going to be so angry with myself. Um, so that was a whole thing. Like this whole adventure has just been waves up and down of trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong and if I'm doing anything right at all. um, so yeah, so yesterday I had this whole idea that I was going to get up, I was going to do all the things I needed to do, and then I was going to get the meal prepping done. It was going to get done. Nope. Late in the afternoon, I was like, this isn't happening. I made boxed macaroni and cheese for dinner, and I was good with that. I can't remember. I made something. Oh, and Samantha made hot dogs wrapped in croissants because she loves those, and they're easy to make. And I purposely bought those because she had been asking. So, yeah. So I told her last night, I'm like, tomorrow I have to get this stuff done, or all that food's gonna go bad, and I'll have wasted our entire like month's budget, our food budget. We'll just be throwing it away. So I woke up late today and not so late that Samantha was late for school. It was just I had plans to get certain things done in the morning. There were a few things I needed to do in the kitchen before I could start, and I didn't get those done. So I took her to school. I came home. I got the things done in the kitchen that I needed to get done. I had our Zoom meeting with our advisor. I had promised Samantha that I would take her to Michael's today. Um, and normally that wouldn't be a big thing, but I also drive another girl home because she lives around the corner from us. So when I agreed to take Samantha to Michael's, I wasn't thinking about the fact that I'd have to drive all the way home first. I was thinking we would just go the shortcut way from the school. So I was all stressed out because I was like, I have to get this cooking done today. It has to be done. And I have to take a shower and I have to go live. And yeah. So I dropped off the other kid and we went out to Michael's, and I just told the girls, like, this is quick, quick, quick. And we also had to stop by the grocery store because with all of the groceries packed in my refrigerator, and my refrigerator, you can't fit anything else in there. I needed stir fry vegetables for tonight's dinner because one of the recipes, um, and I'm just gonna say it, yeah, one of the recipes for the budget meal guide is teriyaki chicken, which I love. Um, but it doesn't tell you to put any vegetables with it. It's just teriyaki chicken with rice. And if I'm gonna have teriyaki chicken, I want vegetables with it. So I had a gift card for Rayleigh's, which is kind of not too far from Michael's. So I took the girls to Michael's. We were really quick there. We went to Rayleigh's on the way home. I picked up my vegetables. It was pouring cats and dogs, and I got home and yeah, I was like, I gotta get this done. So I took my shower and I put my hair up in a bun because when I cook with my hair up. I worked in food service for a very long time. I have to have my hair up when I am cooking, period. It has to be away from my face, like in a bun. It has to be. That, that's a tip for you. But I already had cameras set up, so I was like, at least that was in the positive. So I not in the shower in the kitchen. I took my shower, I put my hair up, I went in the kitchen, I already had the camera set, and I just started going. So I got like the first part of the prepping done. Basically, how she seems to set it up is you have the 10 different recipes, and from what I can see, you do like 5 or 6 of them in one batch, and then you do the rest of them in a second batch. And you can do them all in one day, but she appears to want to break them up for you because it is a lot of it's a lot of kitchen work. Um, and then she breaks it down further that like first I was boiling pasta to just undercooked and doing the meat, the protein that was with the recipes, which for these there was only one protein with these particular recipes. So that was nice. Um, so that she has you do that stuff first because those have to cool before you can put them in your containers. And then uh like the next part is um cutting up all of the fresh vegetables. Um so I did that and I smell like onion and that's where I finished because then I had to get ready to go live. So the next parts that I have to finish up, which seem to be pretty quick at this point, like the rest of it should only take me maybe 20 minutes to finish these dozen or so bags. I don't think it's a dozen that I have. I think I have 10 bags in there, so it's 5 recipes. Um, but I am filming it, so once I'm done, I will edit those videos and those will be up possibly this week. Definitely next week, but possibly this week. Um, so yeah, so like there's like, but she chunks it all together. So like when you're doing your stovetop stuff, you're doing all of your stovetop stuff at once. Um, some of the things I would like recommend a little bit of revision on because like she wants you to cook the pasta and then you drain it and you let it cool. But like she I should have put olive oil in it first because of course as the pasta is cooling it's all starting to like congeal together into clumpy pasta noodles. Did you need something? I wanted to know if I could have mochi before dinner. That's fine. That's fine. I'm live though, so I know. Okay. So uh yeah. So I started to get like I was noticing the pasta was starting to congeal a little. Um and like she wants you to wait till it's totally cool before you put it in a container, but that doesn't even go in a plastic bag. Those go into um like a casserole dish basically. And I was like, forget it. I need these out of my sink. I'm gonna put the olive oil in it to break them up, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and portion them out and put them into the casserole dishes because I am insane and I have two 9 by 13 Pyrex dishes because everyone should. And I have two 7 by 11 Pyrex dishes and I have a square Pyrex dish. I love my Pyrex almost as much as I love my Pampered Chef. Just saying. Um, but there were things that she had recommended, like I did get resealable bags, and which I think I only got enough resealable bags for 20 of the meals, not all 40. So I will be seeing the difference. I am going to do a few of the meals in standard Ziploc freezer bags, and I'll see the difference between if I like the reusable bags or the Ziplocs. Because I am trying to also not have a whole lot of extra waste as well. Um, but yeah, so meats and proteins and carbs, you do it in the first step, and then like the fresh fruits and vegetables, if there's fruits. Um, and then the next step, I think, was the canned, anything that's in a can, that goes in the bags next. And then seasonings, and then I think that's it. I think that was everything. Um, I think some of them like you throw something in at the end, like a sauce or whatever, but not all of them. So yeah, uh, but I know that like for the next batch of like for this batch of things that I cooked, it was hamburger. So I had to do like this big pan of hamburger, which is fine. And then the next one is going to have chicken. And she does say to do the chicken in the Instant Pot. So it will be pre-cooked before it goes into the bags. So I like that because I feel like, and there's also like rice that I have to make. And I have an Instant Pot and a pressure cooker. So I will do rice in one and chicken in the other. And I'm thinking, oh, well, then I could essentially finish this first set of 5 recipes. I can make tonight's dinner because it's fairly simple. Um, and then I can cook the rice and the chicken while we're eating dinner, and then I'll be ready to roll right into the last set of 5 recipes. And then I have to figure out where to put them in my freezer because that's full right now. But I'll leave one out so we can try it. So that is my adventures in meal prepping. So I think what I'm going to do um, is moving forward, I'm only going to do like 1 month at a time. I'm not going to shop and try to prep for multiple months. I'm going to do one month, and then and I'll record it and I'll start putting that up on my channel. Uh, and then the budget meal guide is 4 weeks of different recipes, but like I think you use the same protein each week. So, like one week you would use chicken, and one is pork, and one is hamburger. And then I know they repeat chicken again because chicken. Let's be honest, chicken it's not bad for you. It's easy to cook. It's not super expensive. Um, so yeah, and then I'll record, and those I'll do once a week, in between when I'm doing the month recipes. And that way I figure I'll have a little bit of food prepping every week that I'll be putting onto my YouTube channel as pre-recorded content. And I will follow up with whether or not my kids like the food. Because I know that on the budget meal guide, I should have looked at that a little better when I was grocery shopping because one of the recipes is for chicken salad. And in my head, I was thinking it was something different than chicken salad, but I don't, I'm not a fan of chicken salad. I don't understand apples and grapes with my chicken and mayonnaise. Like it doesn't, in my head, it doesn't compute. Um, But I bought all the stuff. I bought an apple and I bought the raisins. And for that particular meal, it's not like a batch meal. You don't make more than one of it. You just make one one night's worth of servings. Um, so I figure we're gonna do that and we're gonna suck it up and maybe I'll just leave the apples and the grapes separate and we'll add them in at the last minute. Um, and if we hate it and there's leftovers, then my mom will eat it and we won't make it again. And I'll substitute it for something else because ultimately it's just chicken and uh, we go to the grocery store and buy a rotisserie chicken and I can make that into 3 different nights worth of meals. And one of those is just adding barbecue sauce and putting it in a Hawaiian roll or bun, whatever. And they're delicious. And that's easy. That's some easy dinner right there. So, yeah. And then I did clean up my nails. I cut them all down because they grow pretty quick and they are like fairly thick nails. Uh, but once they start breaking, like they crack at the sides, you know, at the side. I I can't see what I'm doing. I don't know. They crack right where my finger is. And then and once one does it, like they all are like, "Oh, my turn." So then I just clip them all down pretty low. So I did that. And I filmed myself cutting my nails, taking off my nail polish. And I have to finish filming putting a polish on because I don't know if I've talked about that here. I use Color Street nail strips. I'm not going to sell you Color Street nail strips. I don't sell those. Um, if you need someone who sells Color Street, let me know in the comments. Comments. I don't know where I was pointing a minute ago. And if I know someone that, like, if I find someone that is selling them, I will send you a link. Um, I used to have someone that I purchased them from, and she stopped selling them. So, yeah. So, like, if you need a referral, then again, put it in the comments, and if I have one, I'll let you know. Because you just order them online and they ship them to you. Um, I met someone not too long ago at one of our local events, and she was selling Color Street, and I specifically told her that I would buy more if I got her information, and she had a sticker on her nail strips with her name and her phone number, but I can't find any digital information for her. There's no like when I go to Color Street, I can't look her up specifically. Um, and I know I could call and I could text and blah blah blah, but I don't like people having my information because I don't want to get I my business one of my business coaches is constantly like saying you need to have people sign up so you can text them. Text them with what? You don't want to hear from me in a text? Maybe you do. Do you want to hear from me in a text? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Do you want to know things about my business in a text message? Because if that's really where you want to go, I will look into it. Just seems like a lot of work for me, but for all of us, because I already have an email list. Um, and I publish to social media all the time. But I digress. So yeah, if this lady locally is still selling the nail strips and you're local, I can send you her information. Um, but if you're like not in my area of California and you just need a referral, I can ask around. Um, I know that I put on my videos. I apologize if you follow me on Facebook. I forget sometimes that when I schedule things out, that Facebook likes to drop all of that into the news feed at the same time. So not only did I create events for all of my lives, I also put comments like on the page where the event is, with things that I'm going to talk about because I think sometimes, like, if people really want to have a conversation with me, if they know what I'm going to talk about in advance, then they will be available. Um, so I know that there is one particular week coming up that I will be talking about my favorite kitchen gadgets. You will hear a lot of Pampered Chef in that particular video because I used to be a Pampered Chef consultant. I'm not anymore. Um, but I will be checking around with my friends to find out who is a current consultant because if there's something that you do see during the live that you'd like to order, I'd like to have, a referral for that for you. Um, there's a lot of fours. I love Pampered Chef, and the majority of the things I use on a regular basis, I have had for 15 to 20 years, and they still work. Um, so that's some good stuff when you think about like the financial investment. Uh, I'm trying to think. I know I've used a bunch of things just today. The knives I used for cutting, um, the utensils I used for cooking the pasta and the meat. Um, I know there's a ton of other stuff that I will be using, but yeah, that's another video. So so I will have a referral for that, but there is no pressure to buy. It's just, if it's something that you're interested in, uh, because I'll be talking about the things that I like. Um, and I had a Pampered Chef juicer, and now I can't find it again. I don't know what happened. It might be in my garage sale pile again. I think I put it in the garage sale pile, and then I thought that I was going to keep it, and then I thought I don't I don't juice lemons very much. So, and this is like the second time in a 2 month span that I've needed to juice a lemon. So if I find it again, I need to really make sure that I put it somewhere that I remember where I put it this time. But I think that's it. So I am going to grab my outro script. Where's my mouse? There you are. Um, and while I'm loading that up, uh, yeah, that's my adventure in meal planning and prepping. Um, I will do like follow-up videos eventually to let you know. Uh, I'll try to do one where I can talk about the budget of the the planning and prepping. Um, I did save all of my receipts this time around, but I'll have to go through and separate because I feel like I have a hair right there. Um, because I was originally trying to buy more for more meal prep sessions than what I ended up. So I'll break that down a little bit. And I'll let you know if we liked the recipes. I told the kids that we have to try every recipe at least once. So I may end up with freezer meals that just get handed straight to my mom because if the kids don't like them, then that's my option. Um, but I think they'll like them. There's a lot there. Most of them have chicken. A lot of them have a lot of vegetables, and my kids like vegetables. Or they have pasta or rice. My kids like pasta and rice. So, and I'll let you know if I want to make them again, these recipes. Or eventually, if I make these recipes and we just don't love them, if I will still meal plan, or if I just start creating my own meal plans. Because there are things like there's one recipe somewhere in the the grouping of recipes that's a chicken stroganoff, and I love beef stroganoff. I've never had chicken stroganoff, so I'm not really sure what direction we're going to go with the love of this. Um, if it's good, I'll make it again. If it's meh, then maybe I will hit up my favorite recipes and figure out how to turn those into meal prep recipes. Um, Nothing like a good challenge. So apparently I have an upcoming alarm. Looks like instead of setting my, that's probably why I overslept. Instead of setting it for 7:50 a.m., I set it for 7:50 p.m. Sounds like something I would do. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. If you haven't already, please be sure to give this video a like or a thumbs up, follow or subscribe, and comment with hashtag live or hashtag replay. All of these interactions not only help push out the video to more people that would enjoy them, they help me know what content you are enjoying